I think this was a great deposition for us. It proved several bits of our evidence, but there are also some contradictory statements that I think need further review.
Hunter Biden finally gave closed-door testimony to the House Oversight and Judiciary committees on February 28th. And while Democratic Party members have tried to draw a line under developments, which included testimony from President Biden's brother James on February 21st, both men's statements confirm a story of political influence peddling and family profiteering.
This impeachment inquiry will now go to the next phase, which will be a public hearing.
James and Hunter Biden's testimony came in at a combined 450 pages long after hours of questioning, in which both men acknowledged unsavory facts previously revealed by other witnesses.
In late 2015, I was approached by James Gilliar, whom I had known for many years, about joining him in a deal which he said would involve the Chinese state-owned enterprise CEFC China Energy and what he called one of the most prominent families in the United States.
In transcribed testimony, Hunter admitted that former business partner James Gilliar was indeed referring to Joe Biden when he proposed an equity partnership, previously detailed by former business partner Tony Bobulinski.
On May 13, 2017, I received an email concerning allocation of equity, which says 10% held by H for the big guy. In that email, there's no question that H stands for Hunter, big guy for his father, Joe Biden, and Jim for Jim Biden.
Hunter also conceded that his father showed up at business dinners that Hunter had hosted in Washington's Cafe Milano with both Russian and Kazakhstani oligarchs, as previously mentioned by Devon Archer in testimony.
Can you confirm that as sitting vice president, he dined with Baturina in Georgetown?
I'm just not speaking to anything that's related to his son from here.
Several witnesses have explained Hunter's role as selling the Biden family brand.
You know, he had a career in Washington, graduated Yale Law School, and had a very big network in D.C., and brought that know-how and understanding of D.C. and ultimately the Biden brand.
But even as both Hunter and James Biden confirm these various points, Democrats insist there's nothing to see here. First, pointing out that there's no evidence that Joe Biden personally profited from his son's business dealings.
Everything that we learned was what we knew before, which was that President Biden is not involved and has never been involved in his son's businesses, did not profit from them, did not partake of them financially in any way at all, and rendered no official benefit or favor to Hunter Biden's businesses.
And second, dismissing any encounters between the president and his son's business associates as much ado about nothing.
The rest of it was picking over the flotsam and jetsam of this shipwrecked investigation, where they were talking about this meal or that meal or this chance meeting or that chance meeting, and all of it was much ado about nothing.
But the point is that those chance meetings that Mr. Raskin tries to brush off as meaningless may well have been the very moments that Hunter Biden and his business associates sealed the deal, so to speak.
Mr. Biden, why did you put your dad on speakerphone with your business partners if he had no involvement in your business?
Do you have a dad? Does he call you?
Yes.
He answers the phone?
Yes.
Okay.
But why did you need to talk to him during business meetings if he had nothing to do with your business?
That remark came on the very day that Hunter crashed a House Oversight Committee session, marking up a criminal contempt resolution against him for failing to appear for a previous deposition.
One moment, the cameras cannot be in the well. Cameras cannot be in the well.
Hunter didn't claim his Fifth Amendment right not to answer questions, but he did reveal a conveniently spotty memory. He couldn't recall reading the famous big guy email, or writing threatening texts in which he demands payment from Chinese officials, claiming that his father is in the room.
How involved were you in your son's Chinese shakedown text message? Were you sitting there? Were you involved?
No, I wasn't, and I don't know.
Were you?
No!
Hunter also denied knowledge of the origin of $142,000 which was wired to a bank account used by Devon Archer, the exact price of Biden's sports car, as a previous House Oversight Committee memo puts it.
I was introduced to Joe Biden by Jim Biden and Hunter Biden.
Meantime, James Biden claimed not to recall his specific interactions with Mr. Bobulinski during the CEFC deal, even as he insisted Mr. Bobulinski never met Joe, a claim contradicted by Hunter's testimony.
On numerous occasions, it was made clear to me that Joe Biden's involvement was not to be mentioned in writing, but only face-to-face. In fact, I was advised by Gilliar and Walker that Hunter and Jim Biden were paranoid about keeping Joe Biden's involvement secret.
Joe Biden's involvement with CEFC and the big guy email occurred shortly after he left the vice presidency. And while there's nothing wrong with pursuing business ventures after you've left office, why didn't he say so in 2020?
I've never spoken to my son about his overseas business dealings.
Both Hunter and James Biden's testimony came just days after the Justice Department charged FBI informant Alexander Smirnov with fabricating his claims that Hunter and Joe received bribes from a Ukrainian energy firm. A move that Democrats say should end the Republican impeachment push once and for all.
I think the Democrats doth protest too much. There's obviously corruption here. That's what influence peddling is. It's a form of corruption. And the question for the public is, did President Biden know about that corruption?
In reality, the House Oversight Committee interviews verified that both James and Hunter Biden made a bundle from their overseas work, though both struggled to describe what they provided in return.
Johnson has accused you of lying repeatedly about your interactions with your son and brother's business partners. What's your response to him?
Don't read the record of every single witness. These guys got to stop this.
But you did interact with their partners.
I did not interact with their partners.